วัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะแล้ววันนี้นะคะพบกับ TNN Golf Club อีกแล้วค่ะแล้ววันนี้โปรแอนดรูมีอะไรจะนำเสนอท่านผู้ชมคะ
ผมมีวิธีการสอนมากมายเดี๋ยวไปชมกันเลยครับToday I want to speak to you about the 4 different types of practice that exist because it's really important that you know what it is that you're going to do before you go to the range. The 4 different types of practice we have is technical practice, performance practice, experimental practice and beating balls. Each of these types of practice has a place in your weekly schedule, even beating balls, but it's important to understand which ones you should do at the right time. In my experience, most players tend to practice a mixture between technical practice and beating balls, and unfortunately that's not the best way to improve your game. Okay, let's start with technical practice. This should only be done when you've identified a flaw in your swing or your technique somewhere. Ideally, before you try and enter into any technical practice, you want to go and see a qualified professional and PGA member to make sure that you're making the changes correctly. When you're doing this type of practice, you should be focusing solely on the movement you're trying to make. So let's take for instance that you're trying to learn a new position at the top of your backswing. If you're trying to get into a nice position at this point here, keeping your left arm nice and straight, that is where you should be focusing on. How you hit the ball at this point in time really doesn't matter too much. You should purely just be having your focus and concentration on the new movement. That way you'll change and learn the new movement quicker. So let's look at performance practice. This really should be forming the bulk of your practice time. We're going to do a lot in this series about it, so I won't go into too much detail, but really it's result focused and it's going to make a difference to a lot of you. Okay, next we have experimental practice. This should be occasionally done from time to time and it's really good fun. This is where you can play about, experiment and see what different things you can make the club do, really to get you out of trouble spots. Finally, we have beating balls. Golf is not all about playing golf and being serious and getting down to low scores. If your fun and enjoyment in golf is standing there on the range, swinging and hitting balls and seeing them fly high into the sky, keep doing that. Golf should be a fun game for everybody to enjoy in their own way. But realise that beating balls isn't going to give you much improvement in your performance. ผมหวังว่าคงจะได้ข้อมูลดีๆภายพัฒนาการเล่นนะครับอย่าลืมพบกับผมได้ทุกวันศุกร์สำหรับวันนี้สวัสดีครับ